8:35, and I'm Richard Smith with Calibre Home Inspections. I want to get the meeting started. We inspect homes and we protect dreams. We had a question come up last week, and I followed up on it. Uh, this is a very unusual situation. I had someone say that there was a it was just bizarre, very unusual. There was hot water coming out of the cold faucet. So there was hot water coming out of the hot faucet and hot water coming out of the cold faucet. So I went to check, and I saw that uh, the water heaters, there were two water heaters and they were new. And I thought maybe someone set up a water heater and it wasn't set up properly. And I looked at it and it was in series. So one is feeding another, and there's only one source of hot water going into the house, which was was good for me to see, just because you can trace down that one hot line. So I went to the sinks, and as you turn them on, I went underneath and I was touching both the hot and the cold cutoff valves. So that's where the cold water's coming through, that's where the hot water's coming through. And I could tell when the valve gets warm, then I know that's the hot water side. And everything looked appropriate, everything looked proper. Hot water was on the left and cold was on the right. He said that uh, all the fixtures get a little cold water and then it turns to hot. Well, that sounds even like you might have hot water uh, directly fed to the cold water line, but if the cold cutoff valve, the right side cutoff valve is cold, then you know cold water's coming there. So we turned on both of them. Then we turned off the cold, and the hot was hot. We turned off the hot, turned on the cold, and the cold water was kind of lukewarm. And I said, well, it's still kind of cool. I mean, it's not cold, it's not winter either. So groundwater is going to be a little bit warmer in the summer. So he said, wait on it. And I did. And we were talking a little bit, and it got warmer. And then it got hot. The cold water side was really warm, was really hot. If it comes out of the water heater at 120, then it was probably 90 to 100 degrees. It was noticeably hot. Then he said the garden hoses were hot. I said, boy, this is bizarre. So I said, we need to check the cutoff valves. And as we were checking the cutoff valves, I noticed one of them. I found two of the three cutoff valves. One of them was was plumbed wrong. It was taking off the hot water. So that's only going to get hot water. The other was off the cold water. But if you turn that on, you get cold water, and then you wait on it and it gets hot. Really hot. Kill your plants hot. So it's just a bizarre situation. And so I remembered when I was having my well worked on. What happened is he was draining the water out of the holding tank, and he had it in a garden hose, and he had his finger over it. And we were talking, he was just waiting. It takes a little while for the once you take the pressure off the well or turn the well pump off, then the pressure tank will dump 7 to 10 gallons, depending on the size of your tank. And he was holding it, it started getting warm, and he said, "Oh, this is warm. You must have a cross connect somewhere." So it's a little bit beyond a home inspector to figure that out, but he said, I said a cross connect. He said, "Yeah, you got a cold going to a hot, or hot and a hot going to a cold." And I thought, wow, okay. And there was a upstairs bathroom that I had that like the bonus room had a bathroom, and I did notice the cold was on the left instead of on the right. So they were crossed. And what happened when the pressure tank was just dumping the cold water, it was taking the pressure off all of the lines, and it was siphoning or feeding the hot water through the valve and then back out the garden hose. So that's the only thing that I can think it could be, because all the supplies were hot on the left and cold on the right.
I bet he's so happy that you went back out there because you probably just saved him a lot of time, money, and stress.
Oh, yeah, we just know it is got to be in the valve itself. And
Mhm.
the hot water side is bleeding off through to the cold water side. So
Mm.
when you're pulling it, the valve doesn't totally shut off. So it's a valve defect. And when you turn them on, you get cold on the right, hot on the left. So a home inspector wouldn't check that unless he sits there and runs the cold water for 10 minutes each time and sees if the valve is bleeding. And we, what a home inspector would do is we would check the the water coming off the
Sorry.
hot, make sure it's hot, make sure the cold is cold,
Mm.
and make sure the faucet works properly. It's not leaking, it's not dripping underneath. You look
Mhm.
underneath, you look for drains, make sure they're not dripping and leaking. And so it was just a really, really bizarre situation. Even the kitchen valve, the pressure was good, so that was a non-issue.
It makes you wonder how long somebody lived like that before they put their house in the market.
And then when you question them, "Hey, what's with
Mhm.
getting hot water on the cold water side?"
Yeah.
And they just, "I don't know nothing." What are they going to say? "I don't know. I don't know. I don't
Yeah. Like, obviously,
I don't know."
crazy.
So I didn't know either. I've never ran across that situation. So defective
Yeah, but if I
valve.
lived there, I would have tried to figure it out.
Oh, right. Right. Now you turn the water on in the bathroom, just use it for 3 minutes, 5 minutes, just cold water. It's cold. You wait on it, fill the bucket. All of a sudden the bucket gets
Take a
hot.
shower and it's going to scald you.
Now I tried the showers too, and it has a mixing valve. It's not two valves. It has a mixing valve, so it goes
Hmm.
one side or the other. And I got cold water and I got hot water. The mixing valve, I think, always will allow some hot and always will allow some cold. So when I had it on cold, it was kind of a cool lukewarm. And when I had it
Hmm.
on hot, you can get your hand in it. You won't burn yourself, but that's the idea. So you don't burn
Yeah.
yourself. But the shower seems to work fine. And there's some fixtures that seem to work fine, but then you could wait on it and wait on it. And then you get the hot water. And it was really hot. It wasn't just lukewarm.
Mm.
So that was just a very bizarre situation.
I like it.
Yeah. And a homeowner should, right, they should fix that. I wouldn't want to live with that,
Yeah.
especially
Now,
the
is
garden
this, do you
hose.
remember? do you remember if this was a relatively like new home, or is this something that maybe had broke and they got it fixed, or was it installed that way?
That's a good question. I think the house was probably 15, give or take a little bit. They just replaced the
Mhm.
water heaters, so the water heaters were new and the ACs were new.
But they wouldn't have fixed that valve thing, would they? Like where
No,
is
that
that
unless you
in?
want to unless you want to update your valves, because
Mm-hmm.
sometimes they tarnish or they might start leaking, or you just don't like the style anymore, and you say, "Oh, I think it's time to freshen up this bathroom." And it's an easy way to freshen up a bathroom is the countertop and the faucet.
Mm,
So, and really, overall, um, a very cheap way to do that. So,
nice.
yep, yep. So that was a bizarre situation.
Sounds like it.
Yep, yep. So, and of course, we go through a methodical way, um, checking everything. All the water is on at the same time in the bathroom, so we're calling for a lot of water. We do look for restrictions in showers. So we'll turn the tub
Hmm.
on, then we'll turn the shower on. And if the shower doesn't have much water, then it's not plumbed right. You should be able to serve at least 3 fixtures with 3/4 inch line. It goes down to a half inch line. It'll feed 1 fixture. But if that 1/2 inch line is feeding a fixture and then they pull off that 1/2 inch line to go to the next fixture, then you're not going to get the volume on the
Sure.
second one.
Hmm.
So we can see that just by um, we don't find it very often, but we find that, and then we find uh, hot and cold reversed, as in hot should be on the left and cold should be on the right. So, and we look for leaks everywhere, but a home inspection, bizarre things come up. A home inspection is not a guarantee or a warranty. Um, we are looking out for the best interest of the client, and we're doing our best. And bizarre things pop up, and um, what you're doing is you're paying for the experience of the inspector, kind of like going to a doctor. You don't feel well, and he says, "Well, your heart's bad," so you go to a heart doctor, get that fixed up, and then you're in the hospital later because your spleen is bad too. Well, the doctor just, we just have a scientific method way of doing it. We've got a systematic way of going through the house to catch most everything, but we're human. And and it's not a guarantee or a warranty. So it really does matter if you get someone that is inexperienced, or um, you get someone that is experienced with a lot of uh, trade background, or house background, building background, being in the industry, can understand all the disciplines.
Hmm.
We're not electricians, we're not plumbers, but we've got a good grasp of what's going on, and we've got a good systematic way of catching most everything. So make sure you use a home inspector when you buy a house. And we've been out here 27 years. Give us a call. Uh, be happy to help out with any questions you have about your house. If you're going to do a project, you can go to our website. We've got contractors there that we have used. We don't make anything from them. We have been treated right by that contractor. We know they're professional. They did a fine job. Their price was reasonable, and I put them on my website. So We don't background check anybody. If we hear bad things about them, then we take them off. So that's what you'll find in the resources section of our website. So there you go. Water issues, bizarre situations that happens. But I was real curious. So I went out and took a look at this thing.
Yeah.
So that's it for today. Richard Smith, inspecting homes and protecting dreams. See you next time.
Bye.